I could not have lived without chess. On walks and even in my sleep I was pursued by the pieces, and in my head a genuine battle took place. The game of chess is the ideal aim of my life. Harry Nelson Pillsbury. Hello chess lovers, Sonen here, and in this video I want to share with you a very interesting game played between legendary American chess player Harry Nelson Pillsbury and the second world chess champion Emanuel Lasker. At the time, Lasker was the reigning world chess champion. This game is from 1899 elite tournament held in London. In the game, Pillsbury had white pieces and he opened up with e4, to which Lasker answered with e5. Nf3 Nc6, bishop b5. Ruy Lopez is on the board, against which black is choosing the Berlin defense. White castled kingside, knight takes e4 d4 and bishop e7. As you know, the main theoretical line starts with knight d6 and then an early exchange of queens on d8 follows, but in the game we see bishop e7, queen e2, knight d6, an exchange on c6 followed. Lasker recaptured with the b pawn. D takes e5, knight b7, knight c3, black castled kingside, rook e1 and rook e8. Well, nowadays in here usually black is playing knight c5, activating the knight as soon as possible, and also that can allow black, for example, to switch the bishop into the game from a6, attacking white queen. But in the game Lasker chose a different line, starting with rook e8, bishop f4, d5, e takes d6, c takes d6, rook d1, bishop g4, h3, bishop h5, knight e4, and bishop f8. Black is opening up the rook's path and now is threatening f5. That's why white moved away his queen from the vulnerable e-file, but left the knight on f3 unprotected, which Lasker happily munched. She takes f3 d5, so black managed to damage white's kingside pawn structure, but it's not like that this is a weakness, you know. Soon Pillsbury will even use this fact that his g-file is open, and by doubling up his rooks will put a useful pressure on black king. Meanwhile, black is also activating his knight. Already the pawn on b3 is hanging. We have b3, knight e6, bishop e5, queen h4, knight f5, and queen d8. Queen h5 or queen b4 are alternatives, but Lasker is choosing a very solid defense, starting with queen d8. Yeah, on h5 the queen could somehow find itself awkwardly placed. That's why we see a quiet and solid queen d8 move. King h1. Now white wants to put his rook on the g file, and there we have it, rook g1. The bishop on e5 is untouchable because a fork will follow. That's why in the game we see king h8. And already black wants to win white's dark squared bishop. That's why it retreated on b2, from where it will still keep pressing down the long diagonal. Queen d7, rook g3, queen f7, rook g1, and queen h5. Well, not the best move, you know. At this point, playing d4 and neutralizing the dark squared bishop as soon as possible is better. Black is getting better chances, but in the game we see queen h5, and now let's see what's the problem with it. So this move is allowing Pillsbury to add fuel to the fire, and at this point you can give a try to find his next move. As you know, Pillsbury's genius is expressed in the originality and bold sweep of his attacking ideas, and he goes for it. Queen h6, a very beautiful move, right guys? What is interesting, first playing bishop takes f6, and then queen h6 is also playable. The move order is not wrong. Of course, as you can understand, accepting the queen sacrifice taps into a checkmate. That's why queen takes f5 was made by Lasker. He accepted the knight sacrifice. And there it goes, bishop takes f6. Already the threat is rook takes g7. Yeah, the rooks together with the bishop and the queen are creating lots of problems for black. The vulnerability of the long diagonal and the g file are playing a key role in this attack. Rook e7, but Lasker is not an easy prey and he's choosing the most accurate defense. What is interesting are the continuations are losing. Yeah, the threat was rook takes g7, that's why black is covering that square, but is doing it at the cost of giving up the rook. Although that's not that important because black has two pieces against the rook, also managed to get rid of that strong bishop. Rook takes g7, queen takes f3 check. By winning the pawn on g7, white left the f pawn unprotected and black queen goes for it. Queen d1 check, and the players agreed to a draw because black is just giving a perpetual check. King h2 is also playable, by the way. This is what can happen. Then you should give up your rook, and at this point, as the threat is queen f6 check, black is covering that square, is sacrificing the knight. But then again, the black rook is penetrating the second rank, and yeah, still this is also a draw. That's why the players decided not to go too far, and at this point they shook hands. So this was a fighting draw, a nice attack by Pillsbury, but a super solid and accurate defense by Lasker. I liked this game and hope that the draw result didn't disappoint you. In the end, a chess puzzle for you where the task is to find the mating line for white. As usual, we'll wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching, we'll see you in my next video.